So many argue that special counsel Jack Smith's espionage case against Donald Trump is wrong because it's overshadowed by the Presidential Records Act, which isn't mentioned in the indictment. An article in today's Wall Street Journal written by Michael Bekesha of Judicial Watch spells out that distinction. Quote, the Presidential Records Act allows the president to decide what records to return and what records to keep at the end of his presidency. And the National Archives and Records Administration can't do anything about it. I know because I'm the lawyer who lost the Clinton sock drawer case. End quote. Joining us now is Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. This is a great admission. I mean, he should know because he lost the case against Bill Clinton for exactly this purpose. Explain how Bill Clinton's sock drawer, what that has to do with this particular indictment against Trump.
I mean, you can ask most other lawyers, they know the cases they lose, right?
Yeah.
And so when this issue popped up, we said, why is the Justice Department doing the exact opposite and taking the different legal position than they took for Bill Clinton, who had these recordations made, interviews that continued while he was doing business in the White House, calling foreign leaders, members of Congress, his Secretary of State, arguably classified that sort of material. Certainly national defense information is defined by the current Justice Department, and they came in, they told Michael, who was representing Judicial Watch at the time, still is a senior attorney here, that there's nothing we can do about it. The president has prerogatives here to designate records as personal versus presidential, and no one can second guess him. And in fact, they told the court at a hearing that if he has records after he leaves the White House, they're presumably personal. And the court affirmed that and said, there's no second guessing the president's decision making here. And so when this whole issue popped up in the beginning of last year, we obviously were quite taken with the idea that the archives went and harassed Trump the previous year. We didn't know about that till he turned over those boxes initially in January or February of last year and told him he had records he didn't have a right to have. Well, that wasn't the law, and I think it was a setup. They knew that they had no business harassing Trump, but they changed, they lied to him about the law or misled him about the law. And then, of course, that all led to the boxes being returned, them finding allegedly classified information, which were really personal documents of his that he had made personal by, as the indictment says, putting them in boxes with a whole bunch of other clippings and such, right? And that led to the subpoena and the sham obstruction charge.
There wasn't anything about the Presidential Records Act in the indictment, at least that I read, unless I missed something. I mean, so he just totally ignored that. The special prosecutor did. I just want to play to you, and it gets
that
to
omission speaks volumes.
It does indeed, and it gets to the issue of these two-tier justice system that a lot of people complain about. And I just want to play a little bit from Vice President Pence, who's been very critical of Donald Trump, even of his dealings with the documents. He was on with Kudlow earlier. Roll tape.
After 7 years of politicization in the Justice Department, I find it hard to believe that politics didn't play a role here. I continue to demand that Attorney General Merrick Garland go before the American people and answer questions about what role, if any, he played or the administration played in the decision to move an unprecedented indictment against a former president of the United States.
Quick response, Tom, but again, the vice president is no fan of Donald Trump recently.
Oh, it's all about politics. It's election interference. I testified before the grand jury on this topic and other topics, and it was 4 hours of political debate.
Unbelievable.
So this is a partisan targeting of Trump, and I hope a court sees through it and shuts it down as soon as it can.
Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch. Thank you, Tom. Great to see you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.